I'm back with Nashua's most recent market update for the month of December, looking at what went on, including pricing, new listings, sold listings, days on market, everything that happened throughout the month of December. We're going to dive into in this video, so make sure to stick around to the end, and also make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss out on future market updates, real estate tips, and so much more. So now let's jump right into the numbers, starting with new listings that came on in the month of December. We saw 48 new listings come on. That's down from 52 in November of 2022. So down about 8% month over month, and then down about 4% comparing December 2021 to December 2022, where we saw 50 new listings come on last December in 2021. So 48, 50, 52, not a huge decrease, but a decrease nonetheless. And keep in mind, we already had low inventory, so we really do need more homes to start coming on soon. Moving on to sold listings, we saw 66 listings sell in the month of December 2022. That's down from 79 listings that sold in November, and it's down from 109 listings from December of 2021. Now, a few things here. We saw it's not uncommon to see month over month decline this time of year with the holidays, winter time, etc. It's pretty usual to see the market slow down a little bit because people are distracted doing other things. However, the difference between almost 40% difference between December 2021 and December 2022, that almost 40% decline, my estimate is that the interest rates had the biggest factor in that, because we saw that dramatic increase in rates throughout the fall, and a lot of people who I believe were going to be buying in the winter time, they paused and they came out of the home search. Maybe they could no longer afford the house they were looking for. Maybe they just were unsure, they were scared about what was happening in the market. So they decided to pause at that time in the fall. It takes 30, 60 days to close on a house. So we saw the results of that in December of 2022. And I believe that's a big factor into why we saw a lack of closings that month. So we'll have to see. I do believe, January, February will probably stay relatively slower compared to the earlier in the year, like last summer and spring. Those were still very busy times in the market. I think we'll see a slow period throughout the next couple months, and then we'll see, depending on how rates change, go up, go down, stay the same, we'll see how inventory and pricing reacts and what the spring has to bring. So we'll keep an eye on that. But moving on to median days on market in December of 2022, we saw it jump up to 15 days, right? In the past, in November and even last year, we saw about a 7-day median days on market. So more than doubled, right? To 15 days, classic headline, days on market doubled, but we're still only at 15 days, which really is not that long for a home to be for sale before it goes under contract. Back in 2018, 2019, 2017, it's not uncommon for a buyer to go see a home, think about it, maybe go see it a second time before they actually make a decision. So 15 days, we'll keep an eye on it. If it continues to go up, if it skyrockets, that could be a potential red flag. But at the moment, 15 days, in my opinion, I don't think is ridiculous. And I don't think that's going to go back down anytime soon. We'll just see if it goes up or kind of stays the same over the next few months. Median sales price came down to $397,500. That is down from $410,000 back in November of 2022, so again, we're seeing month over month decline there. But in December 2021, it was actually $376,000. So even still with the price decline, December 2022, year over year, still a 5.7% appreciation increase in median sales price. So I do believe that the pricing probably for the next few months will continue to gradually decrease. But I do not see anything falling off a cliff anytime soon, mainly because of my next point of the sales absorption rate being around 62%. We have less than 2 months of inventory in the marketplace. So if no other homes came on the market, we would be out of homes in less than 2 months. We really need that to be 4 to 6 months before it even balances out and before we get into a buyer's market. So what's important to understand is, yes, the prices are going down, but we only have so many homes to sell, and it's not enough. In my opinion, it needs to at least double with where we're at now in Nashua. And so until that happens, I don't believe prices are going to crash or go down a cliff or anything like that. Will they continue to decline in certain areas? Depending on the house, depending on the situation, I'm sure they will, but we'll just have to keep an eye on that until inventory comes up. I think the prices are going to hold for the most part relatively steady. So wrapping up what those numbers actually mean, we are definitely still in a seller's market on paper based on inventory. It is a much slower seller's market than we were used to over the last few years, and it will continue, in my opinion, to start to normalize, to start to shift as long as inventory starts to come up. It's not uncommon, like I said, for pricing to decline this time of year and overall activity to slow down a little bit with the holidays and all of that. And the other thing we want to keep in mind is we're comparing against 2021 as well, right? And 2021 was arguably the hottest real estate market in history. So we have to keep that in mind, where we knew that was not going to be sustainable. At some point, things would start to shift. And so we're seeing that. And in my opinion, in the long run, this is a good sign. It's a good thing to see the normalization of the market, because at some point something had to give. And so ideally, if we can see a gradual one, I think that would be ideal. So we'll have to just see what the next few months bring. If you're looking to buy or sell in the near future though, what does it mean for you? For buyers, what I would suggest is, if you can find the right home, if you can pair with the professional, the real estate professional who can help you out and assist you in that process and find you the right home, this is a great time to buy, because you have less competition. You don't have as many buyers out there to compete against as you did in the summer or even in the last few months. People just don't tend to go out and look for homes this time of year. It's cold, the weather's not that great, etc. So if you can find the one, you can usually get a relatively good deal on it compared to what you would be doing in the spring when all the other buyers start to come out. You're going to have a lot more people to compete against. So it's a seller's market, right? It's not the same seller's market we saw last year, and we're not going back that way anytime soon, in my opinion. But there's nothing to say you couldn't list your home, expect it to sell relatively quickly for a more than fair price. It just matters more and more right now that you're preparing, you're presenting, and you're pricing it properly. If you're not doing those things, you're going to have a tough time selling. So you want to make sure you're doing the work ahead of time. You're talking to the right real estate professionals, photographers, stagers, realtors, who can put your home in the best possible light and launch it on the market to give you the best chance of getting what you want for it. But those things do matter. The days of 2 iPhone photos throwing it up on the market without doing anything to your home are gone. We are long past those days, and so you actually do have to justify the price you're asking to buyers. With that said, a lot of people do still wait till the spring to list their homes. If you do that thinking they're going to get more money because there's more buyers in the market, there will be more buyers, but there will also be more listings and more competition for your home. So you want to keep in mind and look at the own timing of what you're trying to accomplish in life. Like, where are you moving to? Do you have certain deadlines? What is going to make your life most convenient and work for you the best? You want to keep that in mind as well. One last thing I want to talk about is financing. So it's not as bad as it was I saw over the last few months, but there's still chances deals falling apart due to financing. You want to make sure, if you're a buyer, if you're jumping back into this market, that you are talking to your lender up front, especially if you paused in the summer or in the fall before the big rate increases or during them. Make sure you're clear on what the numbers are now so that you don't get shell-shocked, when you're under contract on your new home. Sellers, same thing. If you're going to be accepting an offer, you want to make sure your agent is talking to that lender ahead of time before you accept it to make sure that they are still qualified for the offer they're submitting. I've had many conversations with lenders prior to accepting an offer, and they are no longer qualified for those numbers that the buyer put in the offer. So make sure that you're having those conversations, or your agent is, ahead of time, because it's a lot easier to do it then than when your home is already off the market. So if you have more questions about real estate in anywhere in southern New Hampshire or northern Massachusetts, feel free to reach out. My email is below. You can find me on Instagram, Sam Boghigian Realty as well. I'm Sam Boghigian with Keller Williams Gateway Realty with your Nashua market update, and I will see you next month in the next one.